mentioned that at that point remind me about the attitude when transition is happening. Well, you know, some transition is very clear, right? Like you move to live in other countries, you live abroad. All these things is like very obvious, right? But then some transition is happening in the moment you're doing now, in the moment you're in the same workplace, in the moment you still living in the same countries. It's also a transitions too, I believe. It doesn't have to be about, moving the way or where we live and all that. But then the attitude toward something that's happening is remind me when you mentioned about the COVID that's happening, instead of just blaming the COVID or saying that, okay, it's gonna screw my experience and all that. You mentioned a very positive sentiment that what you can find as a motivations to continue to look into it from the positive side. So can you share more about this? And some people, I believe, they are afraid when something change because people are used to something that they know, right? I'm not sure if you agree on that. And when things change, they start to feel worried. And they they're afraid of uncertainty. They're afraid of change in general. That's how the doubts
Mm,
coming up. They start questioning themselves, and they start to close up and not to be open and all that. So what's your advice
mm,
regarding this point?
mm. Change should be exciting if it's a good change to you. You know that you are scared, you're worried, your heart's beating fast. Probably like if you are somebody who like in the audience listening, maybe you can reflect or in yourself if the change is happening. For in my case, it's like when I was in the airport, when I was about to board a plane to both the Philippines and Germany. I think my legs was like shaking. My heart was beating fast. I was sweating because like you are about to go to somewhere new, like you have never been before, and you go on your own. Um, your parents could only your family and your parents could only have you as far as like the gate. Once you pass the immigration checkpoint, that is all. You are all by yourself. For like the first 5 to 10 seconds, it was like very scary. I was shaking, but then like after I calmed myself down a little bit, I realized this is what I want. This is what I need to do because it's the right thing. Deep down, I know that this is change, but it's the right thing to do. So
Mm.
what I can do, like people has a choice. You always has a choice, right? Even though saying that you don't have a choice is always a choice because you choose to have no choice. So in that situation, I also had a choice, right? I had two choices. Either I decided to move forward with the plan, like boarding the plane, or I just left and come back home. But my choice was like I chose it. I chose to board that plane, that one-way plane, and then go to Germany, go to the Philippines, and and to me, like it's always like shaking when I need to face new challenge. But I know that if the challenge, what you call, help me grow as a person, enrich my view, my perspective, um, let me learn something new, then it's a good change.
Yeah, so again, summarize what you said. When it comes to change, it can be both positive and negative, but positive one will give you excitement because you know that it's the right things and because you know you will learn something from it and that you will grow from the experience. This is something that you can assess yourself and don't be scared, a little nervous, I would say, is good. So then it's normal that we get nervous and it helps us navigate the world with caution. This is also how we grow as a person too. That's what Pisan trying to say. And he said, you always have a choice, and even though you don't choose anything, this is also a choice because you
Mhm.
choose to not have a choice. He said you choose to have no choice. This is amazing one. I learned, and I'll quote this down. And then regarding the COVID, I want you to share a little bit on how it taught you. You mentioned about it is a pandemic that we need to go through. It's a change that we need to go through, and it's the world things, and you become powerless, and that's so you not really get used to it, and it's a very tough time. I'm not sure if it's comfortable for you to recall the experience, but at least if you can, what was the lesson that COVID? I believe COVID teach us, like everybody, a different lesson, including myself during COVID, and I work a full-time professionals, everything turned online. It's a total new experience and a new lesson. And to you, what are the lessons that COVID taught you specifically?
Mm. COVID taught me one thing, and that one thing really changed the way I live my life, and I still um, use it, practice it until today. One thing that what I learned from it is to be patient. Things take time. Um, because like COVID happened, it was like 2020, so it's like 5 years ago. Back then, I was in my early 20s. Now I'm pushing to 30. So like in Cambodia, there's a phrase like young people, they have this like, hot blood. They need to rush through things. They want to complete things in a very short time. They are very, they are ambitious. It's a good thing, but they are impatient to do things. And good things take time. If you need to craft a very elegant and like well craft status, it takes time to craft those, beautiful status. So so what I have learned is to be patient. And how did I do it? There was like I tried so many ways because like you got locked down and I was a student. So as a student, you don't have to work, and by default, you already have a lot of time. Besides going to your classrooms, you have time to go to the library, do research, catching up with friends, attending seminars, um, meeting up with friends at a party. So you already have already enough time. And before COVID, I was kind of already have like a balanced life that I want, study and then get to have some my downtime. But with COVID came in, it all of a sudden it become imbalance because like you spend a lot of time at home, even though you still join classes online, but because like even though it's still like 2 hours of class, but you spend less time to prepare yourself to the class, right? Because like if you go to the class physically, you need to, let's say if your class start at 10, you need to wake up probably at 8:30 to prepare yourself, taking shower, making breakfast, and then commute to classroom. So like 1 hour, 2 hours is already down, and then you come back, you take some time to travel, but all of a sudden everything become like I would say at the first few weeks, it was like become so convenient that I all of a sudden I had a lot of time and I didn't know how to spend it. uh, so with this change, the first few weeks was so convenient, and then it started out to be like, what do I do next? What's next to me? What do I do? I don't have any plan, and you are put into like four walls room. Um, so I need to try out. I try out a lot of things, like I even had like a class, online class on meditation, on yoga, on I don't know singing, chorus, doing this like choir, drawing, poetic. There's like all of a sudden a lot of online class. So it was amazing, but it feels so overwhelmed as well. So what I do is that I only pick up the the ones that I like, and I enjoy doing meditation. I enjoy doing yoga, so I incorporate those two into my daily life, even though it's online. But I think like because like yoga and meditation, it helps you calm down, and then especially during the meditation when you just like close your eye and sit still and focusing on your breath, it helps you relax. And when you open after the session, you open your eyes, um, it kind of already like give you a refreshing view to your life, to your situation. So yeah, and then later on, I pick up readings. So I think my 10 months in lockdown, I think I have read around 40 books,
Wow.
and I read a variety of topic. It can be anthropology, cultural study, media and communication because I study it, political science, um, philosophy, psychology, um, business, uh, fictional books. Yeah, so I just like incorporate the reading habit as a part of my life back then, and it was really helpful. Um, like you have free time, and then you try to make this time as productive as you can. But what you can do is not like having projects, visiting this program, attending a school event abroad, but more like just take the time and learn by yourself. And I
Mm.
really cherish that moment. Sometimes when I'm like my life is so busy these days, I just like miss the time that I didn't do anything but just reading, because like now I miss reading, like like deep, this like a long period of reading for like hours, and no need to like look at the clock. Oh, what time is it now? I need to do this, I need to do that. But then I just read days and nights.
Wow.
um and it just really comfort, it just really calm and relaxing, and it helped
Mm.
me a lot in terms of like my work with patient, because like um I work in a consultancy industry, so there's a lot of like high cups, there's a lot of like ad hoc project coming up. But what I can do is like I try to take a step back and look at it calmly and with patience. I like to stress that word patient, because like to me in my work, patient is, to me, this is like my only view to the industry. Patient is a key, because like you cannot react on things. You need to take a step back and think of it from a broader perspective. What does it mean? Yeah, to your work, to your client's work, and I ask myself, is that work really making any impact, or now that you decide to be reactive, is it just another noise you
Mm.
send back? Yeah.
Mm. Wow, that's deep. Mm. So the biggest lesson learned during COVID is being patient.
Mm.
I mean this is like diamond. Not everyone can be patient, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy, but patience is the key to success. It's the key to be professionals. It's the key to
Yeah.
learn and master skills. Is in everything you do in your life. You need patience, and I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about exploring new habits, including register for yoga class, meditation class, drawing, singing, doing chorus. I mean, this is something that I will do too. Listen to your story. So yeah, and meditation, you end up loving it and find it very helpful in your life. And maybe by doing meditation is how you can be patient too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you the last questions in a matter of time, I believe. How about the questions about self-discovery? So you share with us about your reflections, your own reflections a lot with your journey, especially those in abroad. Um, how these transitions help you discover yourself, like whether at some point you kind of, you know, getting surprised to know that you also this kind of person. I don't know. Maybe this is a weird question. So, or maybe you you so surprised too that you interested in something you never know before, or this
Mm.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm. I think if I can put it in a term, so like self discovery to me, it has two ways of it. So the first one is I define myself who I am as a person, and the one is um my, what you call, my advocacy journey. So let's start with the first is the who I am as a person. I think there was one training that I did when I was in France, that they asked us to think of what is your one word that describe your superpower, or like one sentence to describe your superpower, or something that you are like think that this is the best quality that you have. and but during that 2 to 3 minutes in my head, because like I try to like scroll through It's like in a phone, to scroll through the photograph that you have taken from like years ago. So in my head, it's like I was scrolling back to the past. What
Mm.
what can be like the best description of myself as my
Mm.
superpower? And I found out that, and I think it's still true to this day. To me, it's like I have this like can-do attitude. Literally, whatever happens to me, even it's no matter how challenge the big it is, to me it always like I can have this can-do attitude. It's not rocket science, but like like rocket science people these days also trying to build to go there. So I don't know what is the limitation that you try to set for yourself, right? So just like get up and go do the work. Yeah.
Mm.
So this is like one I could say that the one sentence or one word that can describe me, can do attitude. Um, and I still practice it this day in my life, in my professional life. And another self-discovery that I realized is that um, because like I study communication, heavily focused on journalism in my undergraduate year, and with the news report that I have wrote before, it's always focus on youth advocacy, youth empowerment, um, bringing voice of the people from disadvantaged background to be heard to the public, and even my what you call my school paper that I wrote when I was in Germany, when I was in the Philippines. Um, at some point, if you look at it from the bigger concept, it always fall back to like bringing voice to the marginalized people. So with that self discovery, I kind of like proclaim myself to be an advocate for social inclusion and diversity. And diversity meaning like literally anyone can live in an inclusive society, including people with disability, because I'm also like a person with a disability myself. Um, so that's now it become more incorporating into my daily life. Even at my workplace, I need to ensure that my team or my colleagues, they are given an opportunity to share their thoughts, to share their idea. So it's not just like something obvious, but it's like incorporate into everyday practice. Now it's even as simple as deciding on a trip with my friends. So we are planning this abroad trip.
Mm.
So just because I've been abroad, it doesn't mean that I dictate where we should go, what we should do, what we should eat, where we should stay, right? Or which airline we should book. But we regroup and I ask them, I try to find a common ground for all of us that we can prepare a plan that each of the four of us can enjoy. At least in that travel agenda, there's like each of their what you call wish list in there.
Yeah, I see. I see. So self-discovery into two. One is your self, and the other one is your advocacy. I mean, the 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 advocacy part for the social inclusions and all, it has to be someone like you who very good at listening and also good at, you know, asking questions and trying to understand other people as well in order to be able to work in that part. Just like you give an example about your friends and how you want to know their wants and their needs so that you can
Mhm.
understand and help them out. Right. So it's the same way, just a simple example, but this is cover very big fundamentals concept and then cool. And I mean this is very fast. It's almost, I mean, it's over 1 hours, and you
Mhm.
share a lot about your journeys and how you uh, get through and how you figure out and learn the lesson with your experience abroad, and you consider this as a life experience and how it changed you as a person. Right. So, any last words before we close our episode?
What kind of society do we want? What kind of living environment, what kind of like community do we want to build? Do we want to build like a supportive living environment where each of the member can feel that they are supported and they can feel that they are empowered to thrive, to reach their potential, to reach their greatness, right? Um, I think with Kanika, you also experience that yourself, 'cause like um, Because people, if they want to achieve greatness, one thing is that they need to be surrounded by the supportive environments. And I think both of us have shared this kind of like ideas, and we also have our own supportive peers who like really help us behind the scene with each of the achievement that we have achieved and more achievements that we will achieve in the future. So yeah, to me, I would like to ask, what kind of society should we come together and build?
Yeah, what kind of society do you want to be? Do you want to have?
Mm,
Yeah, so that people can thrive and grow and become a better version of themselves.
mm.
Okay, thank you for sharing your story in the first episode. And we were going to have the second episode released soon. And thank you everyone for listening to our episode. Stay tuned and goodbye for now.